were kids, like if it was food fight in school. Oh, I tried to start one, didn't work. I was like, bro, I'm gonna pray for you.
That's a funny ass response. I'm gonna pray for you.
I'd rather
someone just punch me in the face than say I'm gonna pray for you. Just knock me the fuck out. Men, when they are put in a situation where like they feel like they're not right, they argue their point regardless if they're right or wrong. And women will start to lie to back their point to see whether they're right or wrong. Like, men get defensive and women start lying.
I would say this. If a man is caught cheating, right, that's a wrong act, right? But I know guys that will, like, the facts will be in their face. And I didn't do that shit. But a girl, if she gets caught, like, well, you weren't emotional available. Yeah. You feel me? That's what I mean. Yeah, so like, they're deciding to see the gray. The guy knows it's black or white, but he's deciding to stay in the black. Yeah, my boy is
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I'm not even going to I be taking a lot of L's in that gym.
You are now with Demigod.
So welcome back to another episode of the Demigod Chronicles. This is your boy Asante Daya, aka Demigod, and I'm here with my peoples, my co-hosts.
How you guys doing? My name is Christian Lopez. We got a lot to talk about today. And I am excited.
A lot of shit.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think I realized something in life the other day, bro. I'm about to be a modern day Renaissance man. That's why I see life. Combine art and science together and be a modern Renaissance man. So
tell the people.
Tell people what?
Start dropping some shit.
I'm saying tell the people like
what that means.
No, not what it means.
Wait.
Actually,
yeah.
Tell the people what it means.
No, wait.
I meant like tell the people.
What are you saying?
Pause. Let's introduce ourselves.
I guess that was part of it, because I'm sorry. I apologize. It went on a tangent. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
She caught that. Before
we start going.
I know. Respect that.
Okay.
Respect that.
Anyways.
Lay put her foot down this week. I like it. Go ahead.
Anyways, yes, it's your girl Lay.
Mm-hmm.
Another week here with my brother man. And I'm excited to be here. And we got some things we got to talk about. Some things we need to clear the air here.
Grande cosas.
And I want you guys to like interact with us this week on this pod. Like we've been dropping like little videos and stuff. I know
big videos.
Oh, I can tell you guys
like little reels.
I can tell you guys from the survey we did. So I had about 200 votes. Out of the 200 votes, I think 83% said they were spiritual, not religious.
That's tough.
That's a good, pretty decent sized survey.
Interactions, man.
That's a decent sized survey.
We could say something. You gotta let us know if we wildin' or if we was on point. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Somebody told Chris last week that he should have got snaps for what he said. So like, guess what we about to do right now? Get them fucking snaps, man. You gonna get what you need. We gonna give you what you need. You feel me?
And if you're gonna keep sliding in my co-host's DMs, make sure y'all share our videos.
Yeah, bro. If you're gonna come talk to Lay about the topics, bro, just share it on your story.
Gonna say just Lay?
Huh? What?
You see, yeah. Okay.
Wait, what? You said host.
I said my co-host.
Huh?
So okay, I don't
even have DMs.
If y'all sliding in Asante DMs, because we know y'all sliding. If y'all sliding,
share the post.
Then y'all gotta share the post.
Yeah.
I don't know who you guys are. I'm not trying to say they're kissing and telling. I just know both my co-hosts very attractive. They're single, so I know how you guys do that.
Very.
What? I'm tripping.
Very attractive.
He's shopping us right now.
I'm not shopping you guys. I'm just saying.
Literally.
And that goes for the crew team too.
Actually, they're not single.
They're not saying they're single. No, I'm just saying don't be the type of people who like stuff in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? You wanna your podcast was dope. Did you share it? Don't tell me it was dope if you didn't share it. Don't tell me it was dope if I go to the likes and we check the likes. We check who liked the videos and you didn't like the video. Yeah, don't be a shadow fan because you know what I'm saying? We put our time and effort to bring value to you guys. And the more people who share it, we're going to bring more value to more people. And that's our goal, to impact more lives. So don't be trying to keep the value to yourself. You know, we're not up here gossiping. We're sharing our hearts to make you guys' lives better. So please share it and do that for us.
Think somebody
and comment on the videos on YouTube and on Instagram.
And leave a review.
And leave a review on the podcast, whatever platform.
Actually, you feel me? We're going to start doing things that Like, I mean, if you'd be a fool not to take advantage of it. I'm gonna just be honest. But we gonna start doing things where it's like it just requires some engagement, and you might end up with a little sweater or a hoodie or a t-shirt or something. But if y'all want to do it, if y'all want to give it to somebody else just for the free ski, then I guess. But the choice is yours, man. That's what they used to say every day when they ended the morning announcements in our middle school.
Really?
Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.
The choice. Where's it from? The choice is yours.
They're letting us know every day.
Is that from the Boondocks?
How do you feel about that? Listening to that as like a little kid.
It made sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, the choice is yours.
Yeah.
Make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. Like you can make this a fantastic day, and everything's about outlook, right?
Perspective. Yeah.
And I want to get into that because we talked about that a little bit this week. We put a post on the page. If you're interacting with the page, like Chris was just talking about, stop playing with him. For you have to come out here.
Listen, I've been doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I might not.
Yeah,
Don't
chill, Chris, chill.
Don't
get
me
chill.
I'm just saying, I'm chilling.
We was talking about on the page. It was a post that basically it was saying that are you the type of person to be brutally honest, all this other stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And the person quoted it and said, we need to kind of remove the stigma about that honesty needs to be brutal. Like it was like you can be honest with the person, but it doesn't need to be harsh. So that posed a question in my head, and it's gonna lead us into something else too. But do you guys feel like honesty has to be like say like the truth hurts? Like, do you feel like that is always a thing, or do you feel like it's based on the other person's perception, or does the person that's saying whatever dialogue they want to have with the person that it matters in how they're giving that out?
I think both, because I think communication is a two-way street. So I think the person speaking has to do the best to their ability, because I think it's like when other people are speaking, I always try to look for their intention. Because like I played football, playing sports, like your coaches talk to you absolutely ridiculous. And the problem I had growing up when I was immature was I would take it very personal. But then as I got older, I realized their intentions were right. They want the best for me, but this is just how they speak. So I think me as a speaker, you have to as a listener, you have to take that into account. What is this person's intentions? Are they trying to help me? Now, as a speaker, you also got to understand that not everyone is that mature. Not everyone has that ability. So you have to be very selective with your words and make sure you don't really strike a nerve with them. But I think you still have to tell the truth. Like now a doctor.
Close the gap.
Exactly that.
Close the gap.
You would be a bad doctor if your patients came in and because you didn't want to hurt their feelings, you didn't explain to them that they were obese. You would be a bad doctor if you avoided the truth to make your clients feel better and get more clients. Oh, my doctor makes me feel good. That's not what we go to the doctor for. Yeah. Now, the same way I feel about lawyers, I think lawyers are wrong.
That is what we go to the doctor for, but
we don't get it. We don't always get that. We don't get that. There's no money in. They said there's no money in healing people.
That's a story for a different day.
There's no money in healing people. That's what they say. I didn't say it, but even like a lawyer, bro. In my opinion, this is why I could never be a lawyer. If my client told me he was guilty, and I had to go and make it seem like he wasn't guilty, I couldn't I'm not gonna sit there and lie to try and put down your head when I know this man did it. So I think we have a right to tell the truth, but as a listener, just because your feelings get hurt, you got to learn to get around that. I think as a mature adult, like you have to learn to get around, oh my God, this person hurt my feelings, where if the information they're telling you can really benefit your life, you got to be like, okay, yeah, he said it harsh, yeah, he hurt my feelings, but that was some good information that's going to make my life 100 times better. I'm going to take it
in. Yeah. How about you, Leah?
I think it's not like what you say. I think it's how you say it.
100%.
I think like we just have to be considerate of like who we're talking. We have to know our audience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like obviously some friends. This is so funny that you guys brought this up because I was talking to my mom and I was kind of telling her like, I don't know, like I feel like I struggle in friendships sometimes, and she was like, well, you kind of talk like brutal, like you would be like, you're so fucking stupid, like well, that's how I talk to like my guy friends. Like like me and my boys will come over and I'll be like, bro, you're so fucking stupid. Like, stop talking to me. Like, but like, that's just how you talk to people. Okay. Like, your close friends or whatever. And she was like, sometimes like that could throw people off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah. Like, or like, oh, like maybe like it's not what I'm saying. It's like how I'm saying it. And granted, I'm just kidding when I'm talking to my friends. I'm like, you're so fucking stupid. But like, she's like just giving like that as an example. So I think it's just like, you just got to be aware of like our audience. Like if your friend can handle you to be like, yo, you need to tighten up, then that's how you need to approach it. But if your other friend is more like, you need to sit them down, have like a one-to-one like dinner or something, then you sit them down and be like, hey, like, I think like this about this and this and this.
And I think, to play devil's advocate a little bit, if you are the person that's like, oh, that hurts me, right? Mm-hmm. If something is true about you, right, and it hurts your feelings, that means that you're not okay with that, whatever's true about you.
And that's why.
So that means that you have to do something. Yeah,
that's why I said that this is such a two-way street, because the person who's listening has to decipher, is this true? Like, regardless of how I feel about it, like, they say that one mark of maturity is being able to put your emotions to the side. Not put them to the side, but overcome them. You know what I mean? So I think the listener has to be able to say, is this true? It's like, for instance, the conversation Alaysia's mom just had with her. Most people would take that conversation offensive, and they wouldn't be able to grow and change from it. Mm-hmm. They would have been like, well, my mom knows what she's talking about.
That's just how I talk to my friends.
We're just joking. If they can't see I'm joking, then there's something wrong with them. But Alaysia's just sitting here vulnerable, telling you guys like, wow, it made me sit and think. That's mark of maturity, because we could take information out that disagrees with our beliefs and change. But as a speaker, and exactly to what Alaysia's point is, Indian, I'm gonna stand on your point, for example. She said it's how you say it. Alaysia could be like, you're fucking stupid. Or she could be like, well, do you think that was the best decision you could have made? Or like, you could be more mature. Was there a better way to think about it? Because maybe Alaysia didn't even mean that the person's stupid. Maybe they did something immature. Or maybe she didn't mean they were stupid. Maybe they did something inconsiderate. You know what I'm saying? So how you say it is important, and your tone of voice. Like, I've learned, because I used to be like I still am, an extremely like dogmatic person. Like, when I believe something, it's like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like that. So I've learned to, when someone comes to me, I'll ask them, do you want my advice? Or you kind of just want to hear it, just talk. You know what I'm saying?
You just want me to listen to you. Yeah. That's fair though.
And then I've learned, I'll make sure I'm very conscious. I keep my body posture open. I try not to get rid. I try not to do this. I'm very much like this when someone's trying to convey something to me. And then I like to talk on my hands, and then I'll try to keep my tone. Very low. So I'd be like, look, what I think you need to do is, that might not have been smart, but I think if you really take the other person's points into consideration, you might be able to come to something different, and like really think about it. Like, I'll do things like that because I know how I was. So now I'm very conscious of it.
Audio advice from Chris coming soon. Audiobook. Produced by Master Studios.
For sure.
And it's crazy because like I'm so aware of these things too, because I work in a field of like, I understand people's like behaviors and their like body language and this and this and this, and I'm really good at my job. Like I'm not gonna toot my own horn.
Nah, toot that shit.
I think I'm pretty good at my job.
Later shit. Fuck is you talking about?
So then, like, I feel like when I'm in the real world, like maybe my patience is just thin, because like I understand like different perspectives of like different lives and stuff like that.
But I think you're just human.
Yeah.
Like, you know what they say, like, it's like the therapist still needs therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you're just human, bro. It's like, it's easy for us to be like even in my case, it's easy for me to be like, yo, you got to change this, and this. But that's why I always admit to the person, man, I'm fighting these demons every day. Because like, I can sit here and tell you, yo, you need to be more disciplined. But then sometimes my alarm goes off in the morning. I'm fighting to get up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know I'm still working on these things myself. But just because I'm still working on them myself doesn't mean what I'm saying is not true.
Of course.
Like, still trying to help you. I can still see something you're doing wrong. But hey, we're both doing it wrong together. We can improve together. You know,
that's just taking accountability too. Because like you were talking about before, like how you receive whatever someone's saying to you, that matters. Because you can take that information and you can just get upset about it, or you can use it to your advantage. That's like, call an emotional person emotional, and they're immediately gonna show an emotion. And they like, you're literally making it more true of what I'm like. You're an emotional person. What the fuck you mean? No, I'm not. Da-da-da-da. You're showing anger right now. That's an emotion.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's emotional. You have to exude emotion at all times. So it's like, me calling you that is not a bad thing. I'm saying, yo, bro, like, you have to gauge how you talk to people. Like, if something can make me upset, and I might get quiet a little bit, or I might, just take my time and just kind of deal with that information, how I do it. But I'm not going to immediately act on it. I'm not going to immediately just be irate. We've been at places before. You left it like, yo, that person was blowing lines in there. You feel me? It's like, and it's like, I know that, and I'll see it on you, but I'll see it because I know you. Mm-hmm. But you won't make it like a thing where everyone can read that off you. Mm-hmm. Like, so I feel like the people that kind of like, oh, I didn't want to come to this event, so I'm going to come here, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to have an attitude. If I fucking agreed to do something, or if I'm out doing something, just do the shit because you're already there. Mm-hmm. So for you to be there and to be, oh, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to show everyone that I didn't want to be here, but I have to be here right now. What's that point? What's the point? Like, I remember college, got to get up for like 6 a.m. runs and like morning workouts and shit, right? Once I get through the process of getting out of my bed and getting to the field house, like, I'll put in my headphones just because I don't like talking to people in the morning. And it's like, once we get into the workout, like, people be in the workout, damn, bro, why are we working out this? Bro, we're already up. You already out your bed. Complaining about the shit is not going to do anything. Get through the workout, get done, so you can shower and go your ass back to bed if you want to. You feel me? Like, but you sitting there complaining about the shit is not going to make the workout go any quicker. It's not going to make it easier. And you're literally putting yourself in a bad space to have a bad workout. So that's when the coach come over and then start talking to you and doing this and doing. So if you're there, you do it. Yeah. Like, it makes no sense not to. Yeah.
And people don't realize, like, when you accomplish things, that's like a form of self-care. Yeah. Like, when you like have something set in your mind and you get it done and you're like, damn, I did that shit. Yeah. Like that makes you have like a better day or maybe want to accomplish more things because you're like, yeah, I got one thing done, I could get another thing done, or I could do this or I could do that. So I feel like we need to get more into a habit of, standing on our shit.
Yeah, definitely. So we are on our bi-weekly wave. So as you know, we're going to have more things to speak about per episode. So this episode, we got a bunch of shit to get out, so we got to make sure that we stay on track and we get it done in a timely manner. So I think it's appropriate to move on this week to let's talk about what went down in Houston, man. Astroworld Festival was this weekend. For those of you that don't know what Astroworld is, it's a music festival hosted by the musician Travis Scott. It's based in Houston, which is his hometown. He had his headliners were Roddy Ricch, Lil Baby. Who else was there?
Drake
Bad
came. Bunny was gonna be there.
Yeah, so it's a star-studded lineup. It's the event to go to. The last couple of years has been wild, and it's like on like a mini Coachella type of thing. Like, people really enjoy it and seem to like the vibes or whatever. But this year, unfortunately, there was loss of life at the concert. 8 people died. 8 people died. 35 people were taken to the hospital. 15 people are still in the hospital, and 18 of the 35 are all people under the age of 18.
There was like a 10-year-old in that mix.
The people that died, I think the numbers were like a 10-year-old that died. It was a 14-year-old, an 18-year-old, 2 23-year-olds, like a 27-year-old, and then like the last person, I don't think they knew their age or whatever.
That's crazy, yeah.
But
it's so sad because that 10-year-old's like parents debated for a while letting them go.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, mom, like it'll be fine. Look, it's not that crazy. And they're finally like, all right, fine, you can go. And then look.
That's crazy.
Well, she could at a concert, bro. And so
and it was from like various things, right?
Yeah. So there's the police commissioner or the chief of Houston, he came out and he did a press conference yesterday. So some of the people were trampled. Mm-hmm. There's a video of like them like pushing someone through the crowd or whatever, and like people were just getting stepped on and stuff like that, and like person's like leg was broken. You could see them like when they were trying to like get them out, like their leg was like literally facing the other direction and stuff. But and then there's reports of a person that was going around in the crowd with a syringe. He was like injecting people with stuff, which is like fucking wicked, bro. So there's a whole bunch of things going on. A whole bunch of people are speculating behind it. Travis Scott, he kind of released like a few press statements, whatever. Some people were like kind of giving him backlash about it because he said it seems forced. Because he was like seeming like he was like trying to make himself cry when he was talking and shit like that, and making his voice like quiver a little bit. But I mean,
I can't stand people.
I don't. Yeah, I don't like. What is the point of fucking like people died? If his camp is willing to reach out and pay for the funerals or whatever case, like you can't ask this man to care about people that he didn't personally know. Those people are invested into his brand.
It's not even about
it's
that.
Like people have the audacity to be like, "Oh, he's making. How do you know?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't expect anything. You don't know him.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah, you guys have no idea.
I can expect something from you because I know you.
Yeah.
I can expect something from Lay because I know you personally.
Mm-hmm.
People want something from someone that they don't even know.
Right.
Like, how do you know how he is as a person? How do you know that's not how he shows emotion?
You have to like tread lightly with that because at the end of the day, like those are his fans. Like that's his money maker. So he has to kind of have, like he has to kind of care.
But that's my thing is the man probably truly cares.
Yeah.
But there's people on the internet. Like, oh, it's forced. He don't really care. And it's like, wait a minute.
How do you know that?
Did you speak to him? Did he tell you that?
Right.
You're just assuming. And like we learned, like I read about in the four agreements. One of the agreements is to never assume. You know the old saying, when you assume, make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
And people really just go around and assuming and come to conclusions off of and things. It's like, bro, you really don't know. Like, as a human being, how would you feel in that situation if you were throwing this big concert on, you worked so hard for it, and now things that are out of your control caused 8 people to die, and guess what? As the leader of this event, you're getting all the blame for it. But how would you handle that situation?
And it's all narrative too, because you've seen people like, oh, he should have stopped the concert. Like, I don't know why he kept performing. And then multiple videos came out of him stopping the music because he's on stage performing. It's a very common thing at a concert. I've been at a concerts before and I've seen it.
Many
people pass out at concerts
all the time.
So to see someone sprawled out on the floor, I'm performing. My mind is not immediately going to that person's
people
dead.
Are dying. Yeah.
It's clear the way. Let security get to that person so they can help. Does someone come like he has an earpiece? No one's like, yo, Trav, a person just died. So like, I'm pretty sure if he knew immediately, someone just died at my concert, I'm gonna stop the music. But he stopped the music periodically. He was checking up on people, whatever, to the best of his ability. And it's like, you were saying it before. It's like a venue like that, bro. You can't hear. Like
you can't hear a thing, bro.
Like, bro, I think there was 55,000 tickets that were sold.
Jesus, bro. When you're on, people don't even know this too. And I've heard many speakers talk about it. I know later you're talking about public speaking. I've heard many speakers say this, that because of all the lights on the stage are set up so you can see them. It's not set up so they can see you.
No.
So, no. The speaker is saying from when he's on stage, he can't see the crowd because of how the lights are, but the crowd can see him very clearly. Yeah, so it's set up so the crowd can see the speaker. It's not set up so the speaker can see the crowd. So sometimes, depending on the stage and the way the lights crew set it up, I can't even see you guys.
Yeah. It's just blaring.
You know what I mean? So people, I think sometimes people, that's why I talk about assuming. People speak and come to conclusions with such a limited amount of information. And it's like, yo, bro, you guys have to learn, not even just with this Travis Scott thing in life. Like, yo, you got, like, we're getting to, like, especially adults. Like, you have to know, like, bro, the world doesn't work that way. Like, you don't understand what's going through this man's mind because you've never been in a situation or never in your life had to deal with a situation. This is crazy. To be the leader of this and have to fix it all.
Right.
Crazy. He's not even worried about you. He's worried about the families. Like Roddy Rich, I'm giving the money to the families. Like, forget what the people are saying. You guys don't know. To say we don't care is just stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are on internet tweeting, and I'm actually trying to take care of these families. Reach out, find out who was hurt. The sheriff is trying to figure out what happened. Meanwhile, you're judging from the sidelines. Like, come on, man.
Right.
Like, how long are you gonna keep doing that for? And you make these people's lives and jobs even harder now.
Right.
Because now they got to deal with the public's opinion, an ignorant opinion most of the time. And now I got to make the decision right and deal with your ignorant opinions. Like, Jesus Christ.
Action is harder than opinion. So opinion will always come first.
Yeah, was the Man in the Arena quote by Theodore Roosevelt? Like, the man in the arena never listened to the outside crowd, only take the opinions of those who are actually in the arena with you. Is the summary of the quote, but it's longer than that, you know.
But yeah, bro, like people always gonna do that. People always gonna speculate. You start seeing freaking conspiracy theories. I'm like, bro, people just died yesterday, and y'all already found time to make a 10-minute video about how this was sacrificial. Look at the tickets.
Yeah, I saw one where it felt like we were like in hell, man, like going off like that.
Bro, first off,
why people started stampeding?
It's a Travis concert.
Yeah,
It was just
okay.
It's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I went to
the video of the doors opening up is ridiculous.
I was at Summer Jam when Travis Scott wasn't too popular yet. He was just growing up popular, and he was on the Summer Festival stage, and his fans did the same exact thing. They pushed the whole Hot 97 crews, security out the way, knocked down all the gates, and was like this far. Like, see, this is the stage. They were standing right there. They literally pushed all security out the way, all gates out the way, moved everybody, and that type of energy, like, and bro.
But that's where all this it was a mosh pit.
You know, I really yeah. So the only difference is mosh pits with 1,000 people isn't the same of someone like Travis Scott, #1 selling artist in the world, who gets 60,000 people to mosh pit. That's like when I was in that, bro, at the Summer Jam concert, I walked up a little bit and I was like, nah, and I walked out. I got time for this.
Hell no, bro.
But not to laugh. We shouldn't laugh right now. That was different. I was isolated, but that didn't feel right. But bro, you gotta. I don't know. It's just a tough situation,
bro. It's just like I said, it's a tragic situation.
Yeah.
You know, definitely prayers go out to the families and the lives lost.
Oh damn.
yeah.
And people will, instead of just like, and I'm not even gonna say trying to figure out what you can do, because not everybody's gonna, you know, try to participate in whatever the case may be. But it's like, why is the first thing that like coming out of the situation is your opinion on what happened or how they could have prevented this? And like, I've looked at the stuff and I'm just like, oh, like this is crazy. I just want to gain more information on what it's gonna do.
What happened.
I've thought about, like Jay said before, like, what does this mean for his brand, and like, how is it, like, it's kind of like, you know,
serious,
yeah, bro, like, so
not a joke.
And I'm not saying that the loss of life isn't important, but the fact that you're making speculations instead of just talking about what you know happened.
Bro, I had someone.
Concert happened, people died.
Bro, I had someone in a group chat. I told him I was gonna pray for him. Someone in the group chat was like, yo, Travis is a terrible person. People were dying on stage and he kept singing. He was harmonizing the deaf bodies. I was like, yo, bro, you're just saying that. You actually have no idea. You watched one. He sent me the video. I said, bro, you watched one quick 30-second video and came to a conclusion about an entire event.
Literally.
I was like, yo, bro, you need to, like, on a serious note, you have to stop doing that for your life. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, bro, I'm going to pray for you.
That's a funny ass response. I'm gonna pray for you.
I'm gonna pray for you because I know,
this nigga Chris, yo.
I know what that does for his life. Like, I know what that does for his life. Him being able to think, like, the fact that he has those beliefs and thinks that way.
Someone just punch me in the face than say I'm gonna pray for you. Just knock me the fuck out. Don't say that. Yeah, that is like the nicest, nicest way to say fuck you.
You're speaking facts though, because that we spoke about that off camera before, and it's like people will really have this whole identity of being like, something came out, how can I be the most outraged about this, and how do I do it to a point where it's like I'm looking at it from a different point of view than, like, yeah, you're outraged about it because of that, but did you realize he was on stage and do you know,
bro,
it's like, bro, you weren't there. You don't know any ins and outs of the story.
Not at all.
You don't have no fucking people. I know someone in his camp. They said they're going to let people die that night. Like, what?
You know what's funny, too? Because this is how you know people be tripping. The people who are actually investigating the event said we need to get more information. We don't really know everything. But they're actually investigating the event. And everyone else is like, this is what happened. You watch the YouTube.
I'm not in the same state.
You watch the 30-second video and you know, but the Houston PD is trying to figure out what happened. People are crazy.
Bro, that shit is tough. Cause it's like, but people really think like that.
Yeah. 100%.
People, and like, this podcaster I listen to, he always says, like, the internet is too fast to care. Like, people will really say something about something and, like, wholeheartedly believe it, right? And then more information comes out and it's like, oh, well, but But it's no.
Oh wait, like the wait, let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
Because we've been on this podcast a couple times where I don't know. Have you talked about Jada Pinkett yet?
I'm standing on what I said.
I'm standing on what
Wait, time out.
I'm standing on Jada Pinkett.
When I said what I said, I knew the full story. I'm standing on that.
Standing on Jada Pinkett.
Here we go. We got.
Let's do it.
But I just want to say this one thing.
Yeah.
I just want to say this one thing.
Talk to me.
So we seen the post, right? I'm sure everybody has seen it, where Will said something about like he fell in love with like his co-host or some shit like that, or like he longed to see her or some shit.
Yeah.
And I just feel like everybody just jump ship, like, you know, Jada this, Jada that, because Jada likes to go on her red table talk and talk her shit. I'm not saying Jada's right or Jada's wrong, because I don't know exactly all of deets and stuff. Like, I'm one of those people that takes pinch here, pinch there, so I don't know too much. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we need to stay out of people's domestic issues. Like, everybody wanted to hop on Jada. Everybody wanted to say all these things about Jada. And you guys don't know what their terms were as a relationship.
They told us.
Yeah.
They told us. No, in terms of the cheating, they told us. They got on a table talk and talked about it.
I mean, now, after that, like, after they spoke about that, I mean, before, we didn't really know, like, what was going on with them. Before, she had this red table talk and decided she wanted to go out and spill every beans. Like, nobody really knew the ID, like...
Yeah.
But they were... So, people always speculated about them being, like...
A crazy couple?
Yeah.
Like, swingers and shit.
Not J. Cole. J. Cole said he wanted a relationship just like that. And we all thought, Will and Jada... And now everyone's like, I would never want to.
I think it's because they're so supportive of each other, and like they're both successful in their own right, and they both have raised 2 kids together that are fucking successful.
I feel like they have.
But like I said, we could deep dive on this another.
We got something.
No. That's why I said another episode. But I will say, I definitely. Still standing on what I said.
I stand. I thought you were gonna get into your. I thought you were gonna get into your other point that you said before about people, like when I don't want to tell it.
No, because we can talk about it now.
Because it ties into what we said before. I mean, we're gonna talk about. Not said before. We're gonna talk about. You were saying that. Remember I told you to save it.
Oh yeah,
You're like men and women.
I was like, why is it so hard for people to admit when they're wrong? Like, I feel like I'm one of those people that. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna just be like, yo, I'm sorry. I can only be better next time. I can try. I'm only human type shit. And if whether or not you want to deal with that, that's on you, and that's on me for us to progress forward.
Yep.
You understand? So I feel like a lot of people don't see it like that. And men, when they are put in a situation where like they feel like they're not right, they argue their point regardless if they're right or wrong. And women will start to lie to back their point to see whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah. Like,
men get defensive and women start lying.
Yeah. And I agree.
And I think that's just like something like I've observed like over time, like just like women get the like, oh, this is this and this, or this is this and this, and men really would be like, no, like I said what I said and that's what I said.
Yeah. I think it's because of gender, definitely, but I think men see the world, well, not all. I feel like most men see the world black and white. I feel like a lot of women like to see the gray area. And it's just a difference in our natures, and it's not, one's not necessarily good and one isn't necessarily bad. Too much of one is bad. You feel me?
I like to look at it a little bit differently. I think men see like I would say the world is gray, and women see like the whiteness of the world, and men see the blackness of the world. Like, men are very like more narrow. I don't like to say these. I guess more men are masculine and feminine, but masculine people are more like narrow. Like me, I'm very narrow and logical in my thinking. Like sometimes, like we'll be having a conversation. And I'm like, guys, it's off topic. Like if we're arguing, like I'm very narrow-minded on my things. And sometimes people who embrace more feminine energy, kind of are more like they see the connections and the integrations of everything and how everything's all woven together. Yeah. Like that's more. And I think sometimes men, you'll be having a conversation with them and they like to get dogmatic and double down on their point, even though it's wrong. Like you'll bring up outside points and they're like, no, that's not, and they get down on their point. And then sometimes women, I think women have a tendency to, not even women. I'm trying to stop using men and women.
No, feminine. Just use it. Like
feminine people. Because I know because when you say women, there's also masculine women who don't do that.
Yeah.
But there's feminine women who might do this. So, and there's feminine men who do this. You know what I'm saying? So feminine. You know what I mean? So feminine people, what they tend to do sometimes is kind of live in their own imaginary place, and they kind of pick and choose what facts to ignore and to accept. So like you can be having and I think it's also human nature, because humans have this tendency, they call it like confirmation bias, where they'll only accept information or look up information that agrees with their beliefs and kind of ignore outside things. And there's also conviction bias, which conviction bias means that once you already believe a point, the more you argue your point with someone else, instead of actually changing your point, you'll believe your own point even more. You start to gain conviction in it. So there's different cognitive biases that cause people to stick to their truths and stick to what they already believe. And it makes it almost impossible to change someone's mind. Go back to, unless the person really is open-minded and really wants to change their mind and like open to new ideas and are more growth-minded and open-minded than other people. But to Lay's point, I've seen it over and over again with like men. Like even simple things like, for instance, something really petty, Michael Jordan. People who believe Michael Jordan is a GOAT, no matter what you tell them, they are going to double down on it, argue with you to death. Right. Even as new numbers come out, new facts come out, like what basis it gets to a point now, like, but because you believed it already, you're going to double down and you're going to do it. But I've also met women where I'm having a conversation with them and every 2 words is like, yeah, but.
That's what I mean with the black and white and gray. So like, I would say this: if a man is caught cheating, right, that's a wrong act, right?
Yeah,
that's something that should be like, yo, my bad. I apologize for doing that. I shouldn't have did it. But I know guys that will like have, like the facts will be in their face, and I didn't do that shit. Like deny. But a girl, if she gets caught,
she's like, yeah, but
instead of deny, it'll be like, well, you weren't emotional available.
Yeah,
you feel me? That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so they're deciding to see the gray. The guy knows it's black or white, but he's deciding to stay in the black. Nah, I didn't do that shit.
Yeah,
knowing all the facts is against him, I didn't do that shit. Regardless, they're standing on the fact they didn't do that shit.
I got the text message.
It can literally. The girl's like, "Yo, look, this is a video of us. This is I told your girlfriend Nah, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
that's not me.
But a girl will be like, you know what? Like, yeah, he did come to you and say that, but you weren't emotionally available. You were working a lot. You didn't tell me this. You didn't do it. So it's like that's deciding to see the gray. And the guy's like, nah, this shit is either or, and I'm sticking with one.
And I think because of, I'm sorry, like,
no, go.
I think because of, like, I always say, like, sometimes the difference between women and men, sometimes standpoints from, like, biology and, like, just how our natural nature. So I think in times, like a man, for instance, where we are more aggressive and masculine and more just, we're physically, men tend to physically be stronger, bigger, and more aggressive, willing to fight than women are. So men were willing to, like, fight on it, like, I didn't do it. And like what? Like no. Like but women, because they don't have that, they're more graceful. They'll take the role of manipulating you.
Yeah.
Like the role of passively aggressively getting their side to work out or manipulating their side to win. For instance, you might be like, you cheat on me. Yeah, but this wasn't comfortable. Yeah, but you weren't secure for me. And then by the end of it, you're like, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I've seen I've seen insecure men or like weak men kind of get manipulated to something wrong was done to them, but a woman makes them feel like no, they were the one who was actually in the wrong. And I've seen maybe insecure women or not as strong women, vice versa. Like all the facts are out there that this guy is absolutely terrible, and a woman will be like, but it's not what it seems. It's like
that to me is like that's some sociopath shit, bro. It's like you know that you can manipulate people, and you know that the person that you're with sees the good in people, so you're willing to make them feel like they're deficient in certain areas to be like, oh, but this is why I did this. And everything that I did wrong is justified, but because of what you weren't doing. So now my wrongdoing is not wrong because it's only a manifestation of all your wrongdoings. Like, you led me to this. What else was I supposed to do? Like, that's like some fucked up shit to like try to, like, because to me it's like, bro, you can't sit there and you can't blame everything on someone else. You have to be like, yo, you know what, you weren't this, but I decided myself that I didn't want to deal with that anymore, and I wanted to go out and have fun. That's you assuming responsibility. You're giving a reason why you did it, but it's not just, oh, I was led to this because you weren't paying attention to me, and you weren't doing this, and you weren't doing. You could have literally been like, yo, you're not paying attention to me, you're not doing this, I'm out. I don't want to be with you no more. You feel me? Because that's the same person that you're gonna have to break up with anyway now, because you cheated, or you did whatever. You feel me? So it's like, I don't understand how people can kind of keep that mindset and think that shit is okay. Because I've had friends in the past where it's like, guys and girls, you know, they might have came to me with something and like, yo, this person did this or this happened or whatever, and I'm like, yo, that's not your fault. You can't let someone tell you because they're going through this with their family, this is how I acted, and you should accept it. You should. It's a truth, and you should be like, all right, like, I understand that. Like, I know you're going through a hard time, and I know that might have caused you to think irrationally, but still, you knew what the deal was, and like, you feel me? Like, you can only allow certain excuses, bro, because people will take that shit and they'll really run with it. And then they'll make you feel like it's your fault for just fucking existing. Like, oh, Lay, I know I didn't do this, but I was feeling reserved because of this, and because, like, you spoke about it before. You were saying that you had a guy that started like acting weird because like you were kind of like making more moves than him and doing this and doing that. And when you're helping him try to get to the point he's at, like, he almost tried to like throw it back in your face. And to me, like, that's pure insecurity, because it's like you are supposed to understand that this person was in a better position than me, kind of like allowed me to like be myself. I'm like, you know what, you're not where you need to be, but I hope you build to get to that point. And then now you build to that point, and you're not even gonna give that person like their whether they got together or not gonna be together, but just give that person their respect and the due diligence to be like, all right, like, this person helped me get to this point.
You know what's crazy? Because niggas be spinning blocks. Like, you want to do some shit like that? You want to play me, right?
Stand on it, man.
And that's my motherfucking stand on that shit. Don't come back, because now niggas want to come back, right? That's the name of the episode, stand on that shit. Because, like, the situation that Santi's talking about, we're not going to get too crazy into it, because, like, me and old boy is still pretty cool. But, like,
stand on that shit.
Stand on that shit.
All right, this week's song of the week is going to be by a good friend of mine, Three-Way Blay. The song is going to be Tutor, off of his newest EP, Vibes 2, spelled with 3 exclamation marks. Go listen to that.
This bitch in my head like a tumor. Her legs open spread like a rumor. Got her on her knees, hallelujah. She can't fuck with me cause bro said that he knew her. I be so damn high up off the meds, it's not a rumor. Last night got so high, I swear to God I saw my future. Shawty gave me so much brain, she could pass for a tutor. Feel like I got powers, baby, I can see right through ya. Last night got so high, I seen my future. Back in school, I spit game to my tutor. Niggas acting tough through them computers. Told her join the winning team cause her man is a loser. Never really had the time to feed into bullshit. I remember back then, they ain't wanna include me. If it ain't about the grind, then I'ma exclude it. I'm just speaking my mind, so excuse me. They gon' want you when they see the money in the jewelry. Now they wanna tag along when they see the groupies. Mike Tyson beat the pussy up with a two-piece. I don't wear Gucci, but my outfit costs like 2 G's. Cup full of mud like I'm Tunchi. I got the gas like a BP. He don't want static like TV, cause he gon' end up on the TV. I know these niggas wanna be me, but they can't come around like a CD. Half of the pound of the GG. Grade A, ain't no CB. Her pussy wet, need a jet ski. Niggas lactose, can't get cheese. So my feet can't get these. Too many questions, that's my pet peeve. She was in my head, now she laying in my bed. All these fucking mess, fucking with my head. This bitch in my head like a tumor. Her legs open spread like a rumor. Got her on her knees, hallelujah. She can't fuck with me, cause bro said that he knew her. I be so damn high up off the meds, it's not a rumor. Last night got so high, I swear to God I saw my future. Shawty gave me so much brain, she could pass for a tutor. Feel like I got powers, baby, I can see right through ya. Last night got so high, I seen my future. Back in school, I spit game to my tutor. Niggas acting tough through them computers. Told her join the winning team, cause her man is a loser.
That was Three-Way Blay with Tutor. First off, whoever produced that song, the beat was hard, very quality. I love one thing I love about even local artists, if people trying to come up, is when you could at least sound like they're putting money into their craft, because the beat and the production of the song itself sounds really good, you know. So new artists, you know, obviously anyone when someone starts a new artistry, you know, they you know, you're working hard to get better at your craft, working hard to get great. So I just love the fact that he had, you know, clear sounding song, nice beat, shows that you know, he's getting serious about his craft. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Very melodic. Good usage of auto tune. Not too not auto tuning, but yeah. And I've heard some more of the songs off the EP, so I definitely I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely a clean mix. I would definitely like to hear it in a club. A little nice little
vibey
bop, yeah.
Facts.
Nice little hooks.
I can't wait till we review my song. My shit gonna be crazy.
You cooking it right now?
I'm cooking right now.
Chris, you dropping your mixtape?
I think you guys be asking. I said I can't come right now. You know, I'm doing something late Friday.
Oh my
I'm in the
gosh.
studio.
This man.
I'm in the studio.
I'm gonna try
Chris
to
said I
start
can't talk right now. I'm
refraining
doing
from
hot girl
saying this nigga to Chris, because I feel like he don't want me to say that.
No, you guys gotta understand. Like, cameras off, mic off. Every 35 seconds later, you're like, this nigga.
Basically.
I be breathing, yo. I be
like,
eating my food, breathing. They should be like, this nigga. Like, later, I'm just eating.
Damn, that's crazy. Like, you don't fuck with my boy?
Yeah. Chris is like my, like, big brother. Like that annoying big brother that just, like, is always on you, like,
She slipped
what
that
is
annoying
that?
in there.
Yeah, and I get that a lot. It's cool. I'm like that, you know. I'm like that big brother who always trying to correct and help, but it's like, all right, nigga, shut up.
Yeah,
That's
basically. Yeah, I know it's all love.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
I know
for
y'all
sure.
love me, and I love y'all. So I don't take anything y'all say to heart. I just be like, these niggas.
Sometimes you just need a headlock, that's all.
What you say?
So sometimes you just need a headlock.
Need a headlock?
Yeah, that's all.
Shit, I'm telling you, I've been practicing.
Did y'all see his face just now? He's like,
Yeah, my boy is
jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna be getting front with y'all on camera. I be getting beat up every day. Don't let that. I'm not even gonna front. I be taking a lot of L's in that gym. It's been super.
Jiu-jitsu is really humbling. That's what I can say.
Very humbling, because you know, I'm waking up. You know, I'm going to the gym 7:00 in the morning, starting my day off, and I'm just doing this the whole time. Like, yo, tapping out, arm bar. I say, yo, this is interesting. This is not for the week, bro.
So how often do you go?
So I go guaranteed twice every morning. I mean, twice every morning.
Whoa, I was like, you're lost.
Guaranteed twice every week.
Okay.
And then how my schedule allows me, I'll go to open mats on Saturday. So like 3 days I'm locked in a week. Any extra time I get in the afternoonish when my schedule's free, I'll go do Muay Thai. So it's gonna be like a 2-year process where I'll really be an efficient fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So.
And that's always an interesting dynamic to me, because like the people that don't know how to fight, they talk crazy. They're the biggest, baddest people ever.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm not saying that you didn't know how to fight, but you didn't know how to fight in the eyes of.
Yeah,
you feel me?
I did not know how to fight.
All right, but I'm not. But I ain't putting it out there because you feel me. I ain't about to let people think my cousin was just out here rolling around pussy.
Bro,
right? My boy could put some shit together. But when I say know how to fight, I mean like in the proper style.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you go in from like not knowing how to fight, and then you're getting your ass kicked, and that humbles you. And then at the end of that, you're this freaking weapon. Yeah. And then your weapon, you know it, but then you have more tranquility.
Yeah, bro. Like, I can say, like, bro, after a couple months versus the average person, you'll do things that the average person's like just not gonna be prepared for. Yeah. But when you're really around other killers, you're like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like
Chuck Norris always told them, listen, man.
At this point, I feel like you'll appreciate it.
What?
So they're saying it's you're not peaceful unless you're capable of great violence.
Ah.
If so, then you're just harmless.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Maybe did the mics pick you? Are the mics gonna pick up what you just said?
Probably not.
So
Jay said, "You're not peaceful unless you're capable of producing great violence.
If so, then you're just harmless."
Yeah.
If so, then you're just harmless.
Yeah, 100%. And we spoke about that before. It's like, bro, you only know that you're peaceful, you're loyal if you can do something and you don't. But if you can't want to fight and choose never to fight, then maybe you're just scared. Yeah. But if you could beat up everybody and still choose to walk away from fights, like, listen, man, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go home. Or you choose to run away knowing if you wanted to, I could pop your arm out of place. Then you're just a peaceful dude. You know what I mean? And that's how most of you guys walk around. They look so peaceful and meditative.
I love that in the movies. They're always like at the bar, fucking drinking out of a glass. Listen, man, I don't want any trouble. And then they beat up everybody.
I feel like that's gonna be. I feel like that's gonna be Matthew when he grows up.
Yeah,
like my little brother.
Listen, bro, you can't poke a sleeping bear for too long. Bro.
He's such a cool dude, and I feel like people always bother him. And he really knows how to fight.
Did you guys see that video?
Like,
it is solid.
Did you guys see that video?
He really is, and like he's he's a really like cool dude. Like if you talk to him in any kind of like aggressive situation, he'll just be like, yeah, no, we can't do this. Or like when he's talking on the phone with his friends and they start talking about wild shit, he'll be like, yeah, I want no parts to this. Like I always hear him tell them like that we shouldn't be talking about that. Like that could get us in a lot of trouble and shit like that. Like he's super aware. So like when niggas fuck with him and he start popping their eyes, they get like, you know, it's a problem because Matthew's like some little crazy strong dude.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
And you know what else is a choice? Is I know we said we're gonna talk about the whole Brittany. No, we said we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna. We're gonna talk about her ideas, not so much her as a person. But we watched the Brittany Renner interview with DJ AKADEMICS. We're not gonna talk about her, so we're never gonna describe who she is as a person or what she's done. We don't need a background story on her. But
I thought we're doing Ye first.
Are we doing Ye first?
Yeah, let's do Ye first.
Let's do Ye first. I apologize. We're doing Kanye West. Let me go different place in my notes.
Yo, Chris been locked in all week for this.
Yeah, I locked in.
So
I gotta take a pic.
You want to introduce the video?
I'm so
let people
sorry.
know what Kanye West did this week.
Okay, so Kanye had a interview with Nori.
Nori.
It was
Drink Champs.
It was the old girl that had the interview with AKADEMICS, right? Yeah. So Ye had this interview, and he basically went on the interview and started talking about his artists, right? Because he found like Big Sean and
he's talking about a lot of stuff.
He's talking about a lot of stuff. It's a lot bigger than that, but like these are like, you know, main things that have been circling the internet, and
that's what's so interesting to me, the internet, because like you could just see the state of pop culture when you have a 3-hour video, a 3-hour interview, and the most popular thing is literally the
1 minute,
the 2-minute thing where it's like, yo, do you guys also know this man said that it would be a good idea to create a clinic for women who are thinking about having an abortion, so instead of them getting an abortion, actually come to the facility and they'll help you take care of the baby. Like that's such a bigger idea than which was kind of, I don't know why he said that, but Big Sean was worse than you never met. That's just stupid. But there's so many other things that's like, wow, this guy's an interesting man. Yeah, you know what I mean. And
when he talks, there's so many. My bad, but there's so many like plus minuses. That it just cancels out. Like he'll say something extremely like left, and then say something really smart, and then say something really crazy. Well, I don't want to say crazy. Yeah.
Kanye's brilliant.
He is brilliant. But you need madness to create a genius. Everybody knows that.
And I wrote this down. When something I had on my notes. Just the top of it is like I've realized, like, just because you're a genius in one area doesn't make you a genius about everything else.
Yeah,
like, so for someone like instance like Einstein, I read some of his biography. He was a genius in terms of physics. Yeah. But you know, something in his life he never figured out? Relationships. He like kept getting divorces, never really got right women. So, but he was a genius with physics. So he understood, or maybe he didn't understand it, but these things didn't carry over into the other areas of his life. Like, this is the same guy who might not have been able to do something else, but he focused on what he was good at. Yeah. And I heard Kanye West say, and Lauryn Hill corrected him when he was like, "I'm the leader." Yeah. And she said, "You're not the leader, you're a leader." I think sometimes from what he was saying, not just him as a person, what he was saying and what I kind of heard in his wording was he believes because he's a genius in fashion, music, and just art, he kind of feels like this carryovers into other areas of his life where he's just kind of always right about.
Yo, that's perfect. That is I never thought about it like that. Yeah. Hell yes, bro. That's exactly like, what he. That's what I said before.
Yeah.
Sonically, he's a genius.
Yeah.
But he thinks that, like, he thinks he's this Da Vinci, this polymath.
This divine.
And I don't think he has.
And I have a dad joke to that Einstein quote you just had. What? So he mastered physics. But not chemistry. But that's facts, bro. Like he I don't know, when you look at him as like a being, right? He's very interesting and he says a lot of things. But I feel like when he's saying a lot of things, he'll like I said, that plus minus, people get so caught up in the minus that the plus just gets diluted and everything.
Bro, like, because we're so caught up in this cancel thing. Like, as soon as you say something, they gotta break it down to these crumbs. Yeah. But it's like broken down to like nothing. Like, essentially, you're not seeing like the bigger picture of what he's saying. Yeah.
So like I wrote this quote down. Well, I paraphrased. I didn't get the word for word quote, but he said something like, the goal of life is to build great relationships with so much and so many people that your money is no longer needed. So he was going into describing how basically right now he has no home or house. So he's been going to like all these places with nothing, just like this bag that he puts all his stuff in, right? So he went to the Ritz-Carlton and they were like, "Oh, sorry, we have no rooms for you." Obviously, anyone who walks to a Ritz has money, right? But he had a mask on. He pulled his mask down and they were like, "What's something for you right now?" And then while he was there, he had no clothes. He realized, "Oh my God, I have no socks and underwear." The CEO of like Balenciaga, since he used to work for him, I think at Yeezy, and now he's the CEO of Balenciaga, heard Kanye West was in town. He told him like, "I don't have anything." He goes, "Don't worry about it." Because what the guy do, he gave him all free like underwear and socks and everything he needed for his entire stay while he was there. So everything, so he was trying to explain like he's done so much to help people that now he goes to all these places, and because he's Kanye West, his money is no longer needed because I could be the same rich guy as Kanye West who can go into the Ritz-Carlton and afford Balenciaga, but I have done nothing to benefit these people's lives. So they're not going to give it to me for free. They're not going to have me come stay in their house. They're not going to go out their way to search for a hotel for me because I haven't served them on that level. And I know a lot of other successful people who give me that same message. Like, the goal of your life. I was with someone this weekend and I asked him, he knew someone who runs $1 billion business, and I asked him like, what's the major difference between that man and someone like myself or like other people you know? He goes, the main difference between this person is two things. He goes, they serve more people and they're grateful to do it. Yeah. So a lot of people just serve people or they'll help people out, or like, you know, they're doing something for the family, but they're doing it with a puss on their face. They're doing it like it's a burden. Like, oh my God, I got to cook food for my, you know, they got to do all these things like it's a burden. But he said this man serves people more than anyone he knows and takes it as he's grateful for the fact. Like, he'll wake up in the morning like, I'm so happy and so grateful to God that I get to go out and serve this many people every single day. Yeah. And Kanye West was kind of giving that same exact message. And it made me realize, I was talking to Asante about this before. Look, you don't have to say, like Dave Chappelle said it too, we got to get to a point in society where just because you like someone or just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you have to disagree or agree with everything they say. Like just because you don't like Kanye or think some things he says is crazy, that doesn't mean you have to look at it and be like, well, everything he says is crazy.
Right.
It's like, no,
that's not true.
There's some good stuff in this interview, bro. But some people are like, so some people watch a couple 2-minute clips that came out on Twitter, won't even go watch the whole video and already have a conclusion about how the interview was or how Kanye is. And to me, that's just insane.
So like my thing with Kanye is, I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to like kind of like read through the lines. I forgot who, it might have been one of you guys or someone else, but they were saying like Kanye, he's well enough now to have conversations, do these interviews, and make sure like he's not being irate and he's level-headed. But you have to think about how he's trying to deliver these things and how they're getting to you. So he might have a point, like you just said, and then he'll have a counterpoint. And then people will get lost in the counterpoint, like, oh, well, where did he go with this? He just starts ranting. But it's like his points are his points, and the things that you don't agree with, you just don't agree with. But you don't have to, because you're not harping on his valid points the same way you're harping on the things that you disagree with. And in the light of that, like, I understand the type of person he is and how he is, like, towards, like, I guess the network of the people that he works with. Because he talks to people like, oh, Kanye thinks he's this. We've always known Kanye thinks he's that. He's told you in the past, and he just told you again. He just put all these valuable people in a group chat and texted all of them and said, I'm worth more than you. Why would he do that? I don't know. But maybe what if he has to do that for himself? To like now that's the motivation for him to go out and get that Gap deal to prove it. That's the motivation. So it's like, you can't really try to understand the method behind the madness because you're not him. And you'll never be able to. So you have to take those things with a grain of salt. And even with like the backhanded stuff that he said, like towards Big Sean and stuff like that, right? Oh, he said Big Sean's the worst business decision he ever made. He shouldn't have signed him, da-da-da. But immediately after he says that, and Kanye talks about how he's really in tune with his feelings, the reasoning was behind that was, oh, because when I started running, he didn't say Big Sean flopped. He didn't say Big Sean didn't sell. Big Sean, we had to shelf him. He said when I was running for presidency, Big Sean and John Legend, who are good friends of mine, did not back me up. That is a hurt person, bro. That is a hurt person giving you a reason for something. That's like a girl or a guy saying, oh, their ex is this and all this other stuff, but there were all these great things to them before. But they're hurt because they're gonna say those things about the person. So you have to read through the lines of that. And he's a regular human being. That happens in a regular life. So why would you think that he's above that? He just has a lot of fucking money. And I wrote it down, like, to your point. Like, I think he said it too. Like, he always caught my attention. He kept saying how much he loved everybody. Like he said, like, I love Drake, but he realized, and I've realized this too. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you can't like constructively criticize them or you can't critique them. So like with the whole Big Sean thing, I realized like you're saying, he's hurt, but what he is saying is, yo, these people did me wrong. I feel as if these people did me wrong, and in his eyes that's true. So he might feel like this is the worst thing I ever did. It's not necessarily saying like, oh, I hate Big Sean. It's just saying like, yo, no, because of this, I'm really upset about it. And he's criticizing them for it, and he's coming to his own opinion for it. But people not like, I don't like how people kind of make it about everything. He's not saying Big Sean. Like, I saw people on Twitter like, how can you say that Big Sean was the main reason that good music stayed afloat when no one else was selling? Okay, that's not what he's saying. Like, that's not what he said. I could tell you didn't watch the interview, because in the interview he clearly said, this is because when I was running for president, I changed your family's life. Like, you know I'm a good dude. How could you not back me? That's all he saying. It had nothing to do with music. So it's like, I think, like, what really threw people off is that he was, like, he had said something about, like, his funeral or, like, him being in a casket, right? Or something like that. He said on his tombstone, it said the reason I'm here is because I signed it. And that once again, that's him being... Those people didn't watch the interview. You gotta read through that. Type shit, I think honestly... Like even with the Dave Chappelle situation, I think people who feel that way probably didn't watch the whole thing. I think obviously most people didn't watch the whole thing. So they're going out, because I saw the 2-minute clip, and I'll be honest, I saw the 2-minute clip, and my friend sent it to me. I was like, wow, Kanye West is yada yada yada. But then after I said it, I was like, I need to fix this. I was like, yo, I need to go watch the whole interview. And then after I watched the whole interview, and even what he said directly after he said on my tombstone, they cut out the video. But if you actually watch the whole video, you'll see why they cut it out the video, because he kind of talks through it. And after he talks through it,
You get a full understanding of why he feels the way he feels.
And it's only coming from a place of the fact that he felt like he should have supported him. Because he supported him. Yeah. And I think, like I said, a lot of things he says gets lost in translation and all that good stuff. So it's like, you can't pay too much attention. Well, you do pay attention to it, but you have to pay attention to the things that he's saying in between those things and the person that's coming from. Like I said, that's coming from a hurt place. He said plenty of other things in the interview, and I saw through the cap. He's sitting there talking about how he has to take his daughter to parties and they're playing sicko mode, and Drake is technically threatening his life on this, and it's like, bro, first off, the person that's on sicko mode is like your brother-in-law, basically.
Yeah, like.
And second off,
that's your kid's
he's talking
uncle.
about something. Oh yeah, you said you didn't fuck Kim, but I'm not even to get too much into the tabloid shit. And he's like, Kim said that she's not gonna listen to this shit no more. That's cap. She literally posted CLB and said out now. So like, hey, you could see like his version of things may not always be true.
Yeah. And
like, but in his head, that's what he feels like. He might have not even seen that she posted the album, but that was like remember niggas was like, oh,
I think that was a fake picture though.
No. The volume thing was fake.
Oh, okay.
They faked that volume thing, but she actually I saw the post.
The internet's insane.
Yeah,
bro.
she posted his album and said like CLB out now.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're not rich. We're not these celebrities. Yeah. The fact that people get so caught up.
Yeah.
And like we come here and we talk about like.
But I want to talk about because I want to talk about the Donda stuff, the organization, the orphan organization. I want to talk about that too.
Yeah.
You want to finish your point?
But these people get so caught up in like celebrity business that they make it like that the interview had to like service them somehow. Like, oh, why did he say this, or why didn't he talk about this, or why didn't he do this? It's like, bro, that man has always been himself. He tweets the way he tweets. He acts the way he acts. He's always been like a freaking a relief fund. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Iconic.
That was 2004, 2005, or whatever. So it's like, bro, he's always been that person. So in those moments, you have to look at the message of what's coming from him.
Yeah.
But not like how he's delivering it. Because clearly he doesn't always do a good job.
And I was like, yeah, that was very iconic, by the way.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the one thing I would say about him, bro, and what I really respect about him is that you can at least admit he has vision. Yeah. He has a clear vision of what he wants to accomplish. Like I liked the Donda orphanage that he was talking about. Mm-hmm. So he wants to create the Donda orphanage right after his mother, which would help go to prevent abortions. It would be a shelter to prevent abortion. So he brought a statistic. I didn't fact check the statistics, but he said that 50% of African American deaths in America are from abortions. So if you're someone who counts abortions as deaths, as a death in general as a human life, if you take up the amount of abortions that the African American community has and pair that with the total amount of deaths in general, it would be about 50% would be from abortions. So those are numbers he did. I didn't double check, but that's what he was saying. So his goal was, he said he doesn't want to be like Texas now. He doesn't want to be like, all right, no one can have abortions at all. No, he still thinks for your body, your choice, that's what you should have. But he was saying that probably the main reason that these abortions happen is probably because of maybe the family feels like they can't support the child or they don't want the child. So he wants to create this orphanage where you would come and we would cover everything. We would cover everything you need to prevent you from having an abortion, and maybe even if you don't want the baby after, all the support, and maybe give it away for adoption, like other things, but anything he can do to prevent abortion.
Yeah.
To me, now obviously that's a vision. Now how that's going to happen, that's going to be more scientific, getting things in order, but the man has vision, and that's something you can never deny. Like even his deal, he talked about that he's signing with Gap. He wanted to bring good clothes to people, to like, obviously Gap is an affordable store, so he wants to bring nice quality dressing clothes to a store that people can actually afford it, because people, not everyone can afford his Yeezy Seasons. So the one thing I could say about the guys, you like him or not, we all could be like, that is a great damn idea, you know what I'm saying, regardless like what you feel about the man. Like, wow. And to me it blows my mind that the world got so harped on the Big Sean thing. Did you guys hear what he just said about orphanage? Because he even brought up the point that the person who made Planned Parenthood, their goal was to, and they're quoted saying this, I've read it before, that their goal was to kind of control the birth rates of African Americans. Like they wanted to basically like just stop African Americans from giving birth, like being more controlled, basically get rid of the race. That was the original goal of Planned Parenthood. Now you look at it and say, wow, say 50%, whatever the number is, a certain demographic of deaths from demographics, a certain percentage of deaths come from abortions, and a lot of them may be from African Americans. It's like, wow, maybe that person was actually kind of successful in what they were doing. And now you have a man who's saying, I want to save 1 million black babies a year. Regardless of how you feel about the man, the fact that he has $7 billion and his vision is to save 1 million black babies a year, you got to at least say, whoa. Like, how is that not everywhere? Why is that not on every news channel? That is amazing.
Think about it.
But you're talking about the Big Sean thing. That's just almost a distraction.
Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, the internet is too fast to care, bro. Literally, you would hear those numbers on paper, and that would be something to be concerned about. Whether that versus, yo, Kanye thinks it wasn't a good idea to sign Big Sean. And you're more outraged about that.
Who cares?
Like, you looked at the two shits and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be more outraged about that.
Like, who cares about the Big Sean? Like, there's no disrespect to Big Sean. I love his music.
He's a millionaire.
I'm a big fan.
He's fine.
But who cares, bro? This man has a $7 billion and wants to save black babies. Whoa. That's like that. And he also talked about, in that facility, introducing things like the Dr. Sebi diet, all these things. And I love, like, I know a lot about Dr. Sebi and his mission. Like, whoa, this guy has $7 billion. And he's talking about things like Dr. Sebi. He's talking about things about saving black babies. He's talking about things about having an orphanage. Wait, like, he's not just saying these things. He can actually make them happen.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's one thing for the righteous guy who's broke to talk about things, and we're like, okay, whatever. But now you have a righteous guy. He said that. That's why he goes, he's like, I'm like Dame and Jay-Z put together, because he has the money of Jay-Z, but he said the vision of Dame Dash. Or so it's like, this guy can actually make these things happen. Why is there not more support around that? Why are we so humped on the fact that, oh, he's crazy? Like,
it's a meme world though, bro. Like, it's always easier to just make fun of it, because, you know, like when Kanye fucking was in Montana or Wyoming, wherever the hell he was at.
Wyoming.
And he was building like those, like,
he's building a city.
Yeah, he's building those homes. And he's like, I want to build a city. I want it to have clean water. I want it to be freaking solar powered, all this other stuff. And it's going to be homes that people that don't have any houses can come to, can live in. People say, yo, isn't Kanye to make music? He think he an architect. Bro, he's literally doing something that's going to change lives. Like, you don't hear people making jokes about, yo, why the fuck is Ashton Kutcher not acting right now? Why is he trying to be a lawyer? Why is he trying to fight for human rights and sex trafficking?
No one said anything about Akon.
Nobody says stuff like that. But it's like, you look at the person it's coming from, and like you said before, people already have that bias. And they'll just already decide like, oh, this is even more of fuel for me to say, oh, Kanye's crazy. He's disconnected. He's this, he's that.
But, and this is even something for you
he
to
can
think
be
about.
those things, but you can be other things as well.
And off of that is something for you guys to think about is, could it be that there's people planning these ideas? Like, is there a higher power maybe saying, yo, you know what they care about? The Big Sean thing. Let's put that out before people get a chance to watch the interview. Let them focus on that. Like, think about it. There's publicists out there. There's media groups. Like, like this. All the major newspapers that instead harped on like all the newspapers said, Kanye West said this. These are like newspapers. These are big media groups. And you guys decided to post about the Big Sean thing. If you watched it, instead of saying Kanye West, billionaire Kanye West says he wants to create an orphanage to save, like, you had the choice of what, because he said it, and I loved it. I had to write it down. He was like, your job as a media group is to adjust people's programming. So as a media guy, as the head of media, like CNN, for instance, whatever CNN posts, a large demographic of America is going to be like, that's the way I think and feel. Whatever Fox posts, large demographic is going to be like, that's the way I think and feel. So as a media group who knows you have that responsibility, for you to watch that interview and says, I want people to think and feel about what he said about Big Sean, instead of I want people to think and feel about what he said about the Donda Orphanage, the good things he said about all these other musicians, and things that most people would be like, who are those guys? And he's saying like they had the biggest impact on music. The positive things he said about Drake. Like, even the fact that he said, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Eye Fantasy is the best album he ever made. Like, all those things that happened. But no, Let's only focus on or the fact that he said he wants his family back, and the reason him and his family are together is because of the publicist and E painting them against each other. And E the news channel, that's not your family, it's mine. Like, that's what we're gonna focus on. Crazy to me, bro.
Yeah, but people that are in these news outlets, media platforms, their job in their eyes is to make money. And they have traffic to gain traffic coming to their thing. In their mind, this is going to be more, and like I said, it just shows the landscape of the world. I know if I put this headline out there, if I say LeBron doesn't want to be an advocate for the vaccine, that's going to get more clicks than LeBron James says him and his family are vaccinated. I know if I say Kanye West says the biggest artist that kept his record label afloat says the biggest mistake on his life, and it'll be on his tombstone. It's going to get more clicks than Kanye West wants to save people. Kanye West wants to do this.
And as citizens, bro, we have to understand your real vote, and please don't get mad that I say this, your real vote is your paycheck, your dollar. If you really want the world to change, be more concerned about how you spend your money and how you spend your attention than when you actually go vote in the ballot. Because right now, I can promise you, if you wanted things to change, if you told CNN and Fox, yo, until you guys start telling the truth, we're not watching your show anymore. We're not buying your newspapers anymore. We're not clicking on your articles. Anyone who posts misleading headlines, us as the public is going to cancel your article. We're not reading anything you write anymore until you fix that. Yeah. They would stop doing it.
Because you as an engine, you have enough money to do the due diligence, but you decide not to because you're aware that you can be like, oh, this is misleading information that we got. But they know that's a scapegoat and that they could take that route instead of saying, hey, we gain information from all sides. This is all information. You deduce what you want from this.
Yes.
We're going to provide a point of view for you. We're going to push this point of view. And if you're a frequent, if you're a person that frequents this magazine or website or whatever the case may be, you're going to start developing those mindsets. Just like you'll see, me and Jason was talking about this the other day. You can literally meet people now that they're like archetype for their personality is social media based. Like it's literally a personality now. You can hear it in their vernacular. You can hear it in if they're speaking in strictly it's to this for me. It's you can hear everything they're saying is something that's popular to right now. So it's like below all of that, you'll never get to know who that person is because all of their traits are something like we were talking about people being outraged. People use that as identity traits. Like, what can I care about today that's going to make me seem like a better person that I care about this? And it's almost a flex that I get to share this for. Did you guys hear about what's happening over here? How could you guys sign these petitions? Do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
But it's not even coming from a place of I genuinely want to help these people or I genuinely care about this. It's just like I'm the first to be outraged and I brought attention to this first. And now I feel like you guys can get along on the train.
And that was people like the Aaron Rodgers situation, bro. I wrote about that a little bit too. Because the Aaron Rodgers situation really confused me, bro. Yeah. People were saying that he lied to the public and that he said he was vaccinated and it's not fair. Then some people, especially the black community, were saying, "Oh, look how racist the media is. Look how they covered."
Okay. Fill me in.
I'm gonna get to it. I just want to say that some people in the black community were saying, "Oh, look how racist the media is. They crucified Kyrie, but no one's saying anything about Aaron Rodgers." So the backstory of Aaron Rodgers is earlier in the season. They asked him, "Are you vaccinated?" And his response was, "I plan on getting immunized." I think the word he used.
Immunized.
I'm planning on getting immunized.
Immunized.
Immunized. He said that's what he said. I'm planning on getting immunized. Right. After that, they never asked a follow-up question. Never asked him again. Mm-hmm. They never asked what that means. Nothing. Boom. Shut it down. Dead right there. So the backstory is, so he's allergic to the ingredients in the mRNA vaccines. So he can't get Moderna. He can't get Pfizer. He actually can't get it.
Okay.
So the only other option was Johnson & Johnson. But when Johnson & Johnson, when it was around the time to get the Johnson & Johnson, that's when all the stuff came out about Johnson & Johnson. Yeah. They took it off the market. Mm-hmm. But then they were like, oh, it causes more good than harm.
So they put it back out.
Let's put it back out.
Right.
And even today, they still have an issue. So he said he's not getting that one. Yeah. So he hired a team of doctors different people in the medical industry, and produced a 100-page research paper.
Not social media doctors.
No, real PhDs. He produced a 100-page
research. That's doing your research.
He produced a 100-page research paper and submitted it to the NFL to get health reasons immunized. What?
Immunized.
God damn it. To get immunized, whatever. Just give over it. Santi. I'm gonna point to Santi. Santi say the word. To get
immunized.
Boom. So sending that to the NFL. The NFL, long story short, rejected it, and he said he knew the NFL was gonna reject it when he said to them, when they told him in the case, "Oh no, people who get the vaccine are immune to COVID and can't pass on to others." And after doing his research paper, he knew that was cap. It was before the world knew it was cap, though. But he got a doctor, 100-page research paper. He knew it was cap. So, now fast forward, comes out, he gets COVID, that he gets the full NFL suspension. Now people are calling him a liar, testing his integrity, his character, this, that, and the third. And he comes out and speaks and tells this whole story, then goes into depth about what the NFL's been making players do. And it's basically, this is what they have to do, bro. So say we all go to the facility. We get tested every single day. The vaccinated people who get tested, after they get tested, before their results come back in, get to walk straight into the facility. People who aren't vaccinated have to go sit in their cars. Mm-hmm. That makes absolutely no sense. People, even though you get tested in the morning, and after you're shown as negative, you guys get to all go in the facility. People who are not vaccinated have to still wear a mask. And then when you guys are working out in the locker room, you guys have to work out in your own corner. People who are not vaccinated. When they go on trips, people who are vaccinated are allowed to leave and come back. People who are unvaccinated have to quarantine and stay in their room. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's saying, he's telling all the stories like, okay, one, if we all get tested for COVID in the morning and we all get our negative results, why now when we're all in facility, I have to wear a mask and they don't? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to work out in the corner by myself? Why, if I'm getting tested every single day, I got to quarantine and stay inside the house and everyone's get to go away? Why is that? It's because these protocols aren't rooted in science. He did a 100-page research paper. They're rooted in shaming people to do something. Mm-hmm. We're going to shame you, make them be able to walk in. And guess what? The Packers got all this COVID. It came from a vaccinated person. So maybe it would have been smarter to tell that guy, hey, no, everyone has to sit in their car and wait till the results come back. And then when your results come back, then you're allowed to go in. Mm-hmm. Because he was vaccinated, he's allowed to go in, allowed to eat with the players in the cafeteria, be around the cafeterias, and they go, oh, he's tested. Go get him and tell him he has to come out. Right. He was just already around everybody. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these things are making people do, and now you bring that to the outside world. Yeah, it's not rooted in science. It's rooted in shaming people to control them to do something you want them to do. Mm-hmm. But I tell this to tell the story is, what is the media outlet saying? Oh, he's a terrible person. He should be ashamed of himself. I lost respect for him. Before he tells his side of the story, I lost respect for him. I'm ashamed of him. How could he do this? But then what is people on the black side saying? Oh, they're treating Aaron Rodgers different because he's white, and look how they treated Kyrie. But we out with the mean. It's like, how can this all be such confusion? It's because you guys are getting fed. It's like how the algorithms, you guys are getting fed different information, and you guys aren't going out, stepping back, and doing your own research. Because if you watch the video and listen to what he said, the opinions all you guys have are invalid. And this side, if you actually paid attention to how the media is covering him, what they're saying to him, you know they're crucifying both of them.
Yeah, and they're two completely different situations and two completely different sports as well. Like we can't compare and contrast every single situation when it comes to this COVID nonsense. I mean, like, everybody's body is different. Everybody's like, beliefs are different. Like, Jewish people, they can't get like blood transfusions, right, or something like that.
Not sure.
Well,
I think I've heard of religious reasons people that don't get blood transfusions.
That's like if you have like sickle cell and you need to get blood.
Because
they don't know whose blood you're putting in them type.
Oh, it has to be like kosher blood.
No, not even. I don't know if it's specific to Jewish people, but kosher blood is crazy.
Bro, no. That's crazy.
No. I get you. It's just funny. It's funny though. Bro, but I was like, there's like even people that like don't attach other people's hairs to their head or don't wear weaves because like you don't know whose body that blood is running through and with their spirits.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like
that.
Okay. It's just like different situations basically is what I was trying to say. Causes for different things. You know what I mean? And for people to be comparing like Kyrie, even though I fuck with Kyrie and like I think what he's doing, like he's standing behind his shit. Like I really fuck with it. It's not medical. Yeah. This guy, it's medical.
And even in the NBA, Kyrie can't play the entire season. Aaron Rodgers has to just sit out 10 days. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And it's not even comparable in situations.
That's what I'm saying. It's two different sports. It's two different, like, completely different situations as people.
Literally.
You know? As people.
And where Kyrie's at, because I remember my dad saying this. He was like what you said. They almost want to shame people into getting it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when the mandates first happened in New York, it was just indoor dining. And my dad's like, if they really wanted everybody to get the vaccine and they wanted to shut down for medical reasons and for health reasons to not have people indoors without having the vaccine, they would say, you can't go to a mall. You can't go to any shopping stores. Mm-hmm. But that's currency right there. That's capitalism. They're not going to shut that down. And Kyrie, where he is, he's in the state where that happened. So it's like, if I can quarantine, I can do all these things that I can make sure I keep myself healthy and play this game, but you're not going to let me play just because I don't have the vaccine to play in New York, but I can play in other places. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about people that were unvaccinated and traveling to New York and coming to play in New York, but because I reside in New York or because my job is here, I can't work here. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It, like you literally can't compare the two because the worlds are different. Mm-hmm. Most NFL games are played outdoor, or it's a lot more open space. Exactly. NBA's arena is closed, it's tight. That's understandable. So it's like you have to look at it as if like one person he has medical reasons for him not wanting this. The next person has spiritual, religious, personal reasons that he doesn't want to get it. Exactly. Either way, you have to respect both.
Absolutely.
There should be no reason to be demonizing anybody because you're not better than me because you got it, and I'm not less than you because I didn't get it.
Right. Yeah.
It's you made that choice, which was best for you, and whatever decision, maybe it was for work, maybe it was protect the older person that you're living with, maybe it's to protect your loved ones. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm making this choice because, like we spoke about on a past episode with your god sister, she has issues with her body that she just can't just be introducing foreign stuff to her body without having any knowledge behind it. Right.
Absolutely.
And she is very intelligent, and she's knowledgeable in what happens with her body.
Absolutely.
So for her to have some type of skepticism, you shouldn't be looking at a person like, why wouldn't you want to do it? Because for her, it's not as easy for you. Like, that's not just a comeback thing for her. You have a regular immune system. Yeah. Right. You feel me? And it's like, I know people that have compromised immune systems. So it's like, you can't make the way you feel make someone else feel like that because I know I'm 100% healthy, and I know, if this goes left for me, it'll be good. Right. I'll be fine.
Bro, and this goes back to where we've been kind of the whole theme of this entire episode. Because there's just so many people who come to conclusions with such limited amount of information. Yeah. Right. Like, because Aaron Rodgers talked about it too. Like, if you really wanted to protect yourself from COVID, like your goal was, I want to be as protected against COVID as possible. What you would really do, right, is fill yourself up with vitamins and nutrients. And then what you would do is you would, throughout your daily life, kind of hope you come in contact with COVID. But you would hope that your body is immune system is so built up and strong that you would get COVID and you would overcome it. And guess what? Your body would have the antibodies. Your body would have actually had COVID. And people who had COVID and beat it are the most immune to COVID than even if I get a vaccine. Like, having COVID and beating it is the best way to be protected against COVID in the future. That's how your immune system works. That's why, like, even with women, when you breastfeeding is so important because you also pass on part of your immune system to the baby. Because I think that the T cells, we learned in school, one of the cells get the part of your immune system gets passed on to the baby through breastfeeding. So it's part of you passing on your immune system to the baby. That's the number one way to protect yourself, is to actually be exposed to viruses, be exposed to pathogens, and your body overcome them and know how to deal with it. But now we live in a world where we're starting to avoid pathogens, all antibacterial, antibiotics, and hand sanitizer, washing all that. It's like your food is super clean. If someone drops up on the floor, I'm not eating that. You're actually not exposing your body to all these pathogens that normally you would, which helps you build a healthy and strong immune system. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if your body doesn't know what it is, it can't defend it. But people just you come to all these conclusions and opinions with such limited knowledge. Like, before you judged Aaron Rodgers, it would have been good information to know that he's allergic to the ingredients in the mRNAs. and the other, no one wants the Johnson & Johnson. I mean, let's be serious.
Okay.
Like, okay.
But she got recalled. I'm good.
Like, no one wants that one. Okay, the other two, the ones we want, but he's allergic to them. So you would rather him just take it, hope for the best, than him not take it and be like, what do you want him to have an allergic reaction? Then what are you gonna say?
Essentially, the shot is, this is just mind blowing because essentially the shot is to like protect ourselves. Like if we were to get COVID, like the symptoms are minimum, we're not dying of COVID. So like I'm so confused. You're mad at me because I don't want to do something that's supposed to protect me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like
they call you selfish.
Word. And in other COVID news, the Pfizer's available for 5 through 11-year-olds now. So if I see some of y'all kids out there, maybe I should be demonizing them too.
Yeah.
Is this kid in baby gap right now without the vaccine?
Bro, it's even like I know for me. Like I know even for me, bro. Like I had to get it for work. You know what I mean?
Nah, like that shit is stupid,
bro. Like I had to get it for work, me personally. Like or I was gonna get fired.
Same.
And to me, that's insane. Like just because I don't feel no safe. I feel less safe, in my opinion, because I know how well. I was explaining this to my boss. We were having a conversation. I was like, for me, it's like I didn't. He was like, "Damn, you just got it." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, because for me, how well I take care of myself and treat my body. I would bet 10 times out of 10, even with your vaccine, you throw COVID at me, and like I'm gonna win. Like, cause look how well I treat myself. Look how well high in my immune system is. Like I'm the one who wakes up and drinks freshly juiced green juices. I'm the one who takes vitamin C and B and all these minerals and vitamins. I'm the one who takes sea moss. I'm the one who eats plants. I'm the one who works out all the time. I'm the one who gets a good night's sleep. Like I'm the one who avoids certain things so I can, like, I'm the one who does that. You don't do that. I wasn't talking to him like that, obviously, but like you don't do that. So for you to even believe you're well protected and safer and healthier and doing better for your grandparents than I am, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Word.
You're crazy. I swear to God, you're crazy. But I think, like I said before, people come to so many conclusions with just such limited information. Like there's a graph that I saw it on. It's like when you get a little bit of information, you think you know everything. But the more you learn, your beliefs about what you know starts to fall off a cliff.
Hell yeah.
Because the more you know, the less you know you know.
Because you know how many possibilities there are.
You start questioning yourself, like, what is this really this? Like,
that's so crazy. People really be unhealthy, throw the vaccine and them think they're healthy. that is the equivalent to ordering the freaking supersized meal and then asking for a Diet Coke, thinking that you're being healthy.
I'm fucking screaming.
Fucking assholes. Moving on. All right, so this week, Chris threw in the group chat. He threw a what happened?
You making his face?
She got excited.
Oh yeah,
I am excited.
Chris threw in the group chat. Everybody knows who it is, but the interview that happened this week with DJ AKADEMICS. Yeah, it's a very famous female. If you don't know, go and do your research. But this is a young lady who her ideals and kind of her principles are what we want to get into more so than who she is. Yeah. But Chris, you want to break it down?
Yeah. So I watched it. Like we said, we're not going to get into the person itself because I don't think you get a lot of value just talking about a specific person, but you can get value from going into someone's belief system, someone's values, and the way someone think. Because, like I said before on this podcast, I feel like we have a responsibility. Like, there's people who might think a certain way, and I feel like it's our job to really talk about these things because at the end of the day, maybe 5 years from now, our daughter might listen to this and she's trying to figure out what's right from wrong. And we could do a great job of challenging beliefs that the public might think is right. We could put our kids in a better place. We could put our nephews and cousins, and we have, our cousin Jair, who's of that age where these things are going to become very important for him to start thinking about. At least we know he could tap into Demigod Chronicles and get good information to help change his life. So
I'm really doing this for lazy parenting. I'm like, you're having issues with what is episode 156,
and that's what it should really become. Especially, bro, I texted them earlier. Especially with the state of the media right now, bro. It's like just so many lies are being filled. So many, and I think what I did like about the Kanye West thing is he said a lot of leaders are selfish because a lot of leaders are only doing things for their own common good, not thinking about there's 2,000 people listening to me that whatever I say they're gonna believe and do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like all the celebrities who go and make a deal with, say, like, a unhealthy restaurant. I'm not going to say no names, but go do a deal knowing that your fans see you make a deal with that unhealthy restaurant. Now they're going to go buy that meal and that meal is killing them. So to me, that's nuts. So just to start off, the first thing that I wanted to hear from you guys, which I think is interesting, is she mentioned having 30 bodies, and like 30 bodies is not a lot, right? Now I wanted to ask you guys, because I thought that was interesting to me, and I got the average body that the average person has. I'll get that to you later. And by bodies, I mean sexual partners, if you don't speak slang. Is 30 sexual partners a lot in someone's life?
Yes. I think it's a lot.
I think so too, but I'm gonna lay.
I mean, like, how old are they?
She's what, 29?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot, right? So now, even for her age group, you know what the average person, how many sexual partners the average person has?
How many?
4 to 8.
Right.
No, you guys are laughing, but so the average is 4 to 8. So now remember, we're going before, like, saying, is that a lot? Is that a not? Now knowing that the average is 4 to 8, we can definitively say that's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, without question, because it's just way above average.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Now, this is, I think, something even for men and women. We're not gonna just isolate women. For men and women, now knowing that, hey, some people desire to have families, and sex in a healthy relationship, sex is a very important part of a healthy relationship, because for the most part, it's an emotional attachment to the person you're dealing with. Now, when you have 30 bodies, don't you guys think part of that emotional attachment starts to disappear because you've had sex with so many people you're no longer emotionally involved with? That how can you still have that same emotional connection with the husband or spouse when it's like, I've done this 30 other times with other people that are somewhere still in my subconscious, comparing that to you, throwing that on you, and now we're supposed to have this emotional bond. So I wrote this down to talk about it in the sense of, if you had a daughter, even a son, who was like, you know, they're trying to figure out what's right or wrong to do, and I would still tell her, hey, look, go out there and have fun, do what you want to do, but still be aware, because at the end of the day, remember that one day, if your goal is to be married with kids, that matters. Regardless if we want to be like, you should never ask, you don't want to match. Bro, it has a psychological effect on you, guaranteed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously 30 is a lot. What's your guys' take on it?
I know niggas with like 70 bodies.
Yeah, but guess what? How many guys with 70 bodies could you really be like, those guys are really great? Like there's nothing like those are like number one husband picks. Like there's nothing, like they don't need therapy. There's nothing wrong. Like that's a lot of people, bro. Just to be running through.
Yeah, you got 70 bodies. Lot. You got a lot of one-time shoppers.
Yeah, that's a lot, bro.
Because ain't no way there's 70 people that you was like fucking with on that level to where like you were keeping them around like that.
And sex almost becomes nothing.
I don't even ask body count numbers because that shit kind of just makes me a little like, makes my stomach turn. Like, no cap, that shit makes your heart beat funny. I don't got time for shit like that.
Yeah.
Like niggas, like
how many bodies you got is crazy.
I think when I first got with my ex, like who even gives a fuck? Like, niggas is grown. When I first got with my ex, he had told me like it was like up there, like close to like 20, or it's like up there already. And we were like, what, like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. That's when we like really first met each other.
Yeah.
So like, he had to be like what, 22? Like he had to be pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for you to say like at that age you had 20 bodies already, or close to like 30, like that's a lot.
Bro, if a girl told me she had 30 bodies, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care what no one says about me. We're not gonna have a relationship. Yeah. Like like we can have fun, but I'm talking about a serious. It's not gonna happen. Like you're not my wife. I can't have you my wife. I can't be mother of my kids. It's just, regardless, call me shallow, call me what you want. And all the girls do be like, I'm insecure. Cool. We don't ever have to have a relationship together. But I would never marry a girl with that many bodies. I just can't. It's just like, why?
To me, I mean, once again, I don't ask body count, but if you ever wanted to know if you have a lot of bodies or not, think about when you became sexually active to the point you are now. Think about your body count. And now because like, you could say 30 bodies old, like I'm 30 years old, right? Whatever. But if you started having sex at 20 years old, 30 bodies within 10 years, and you just do like the freaking math on that, it's like, all right, that sounds like a normal number, but it's really not.
It's really not.
This is
how we know it's not normal. The average is 4 to 8.
Yeah.
That's not normal already. So we know it's not normal. So like we have a number to say, is this normal or not?
Especially for, and I don't want to get too into the, girls have to keep a low body count, guys are supposed to have a high body count. Like that's bullshit. Whatever you see fit, you do. But like, just by nature, girls are like usually the ones to like girls are gonna deny more sex than guys are, right? And girls most of the time will be like, all right, like they choose who has access to them, and like most girls don't even fucking really want to run through 30 guys because they don't even know 30 guys that they would want to have sex with.
Exactly. Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
So it's like, for that number to be that high, it's like you probably were either like, and granted, like I said, everybody live their life, have your fun. You're being, young, wild, and free. You feeling liberated and all that good stuff.
She definitely, I would say she's a very free-spirited person. And, and something else, I know like something else that was a big kind of a kind of theme through the whole talk of a belief system is the idea that a person has to accept me as I am.
Yeah. And
there's a couple things that in that she said a lot where even DJ Academics were trying to say is she had the concept of someone has to accept me as I am. And she gave certain examples. Like, for instance, she brought up the fact that her ideal husband would be someone where she's in the club shaking her ass for the whole club. And he was like, oh, you mean shaking your ass for your husband? She goes, no, just for the club, for everyone to see. And he would be under her just clapping. Like, yeah, that's my wife. And certain other things that, you just got to accept her who she is. Like her whole past, her writing a book about sex, the 30 bodies. The fact that she said on the show, it would be open to having like 2 guys and just her, or 3 guys and just her. That the fact that she feels this way, like that's just tough. That's it's tough. Yeah, that's just how a husband. But what really struck me, and I have to say this, is she's not. I didn't take her as a bad person. I actually had a newfound respect for her, because as listening to the belief system, it made me wonder, like the whole concept of take me as I am. If some people, I'm not even gonna say women, if people are kind of delusional about relationships, or very delusional about what the opposite sex wants or needs, and kind of little delusion about how the world actually works. Like this whole concept of take me as I am is a little bit challenging, because I have never thought in a million years that someone needs to just take me the way I am. Because if I would have said that even 3 months ago, I'm a better person than I was 3 months ago. Yeah. So I could never walk around with the concept of, the world needs to just take me as I am, because I'm constantly growing, changing, and adapting. So I think
stagnant and selfish. So
I think for me to be like, especially I know there's things about me where I've just told you guys before that I have tendency to be very dogmatic. I have toxic traits about myself that I'm constantly working on, building on, and working to growing on. For me to just say, no, I'm going to keep those traits, and everyone else in the outside world needs to just accept them or not deal with me, to me that's very delusional about human relationships, and especially from the standpoint of I'm saying I want to have a happy family with kids and a wife. Now that's extremely unreasonable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear you guys take on that a little bit.
I have a personal belief that if you can identify what's wrong with you and vocalize it, that's a big step. A lot of people
awareness.
Can't even do that, right?
Yeah.
But now, if on the flip side, if you choose to let that be a thing, and then you decide that I'm not going to change it, now you're making a cognitive choice to be set in your ways, which is completely not okay. So for the whole accept me as I am thing, is there a guy out there that probably doesn't mind you having 30 bodies? Yes, because he might have 60. So he might be like, girl, I fuck twice as much as you. I don't care. So that's not saying what you're doing is wrong, but I think the wrongdoing is like things require things in life, right? Like there's just, if you want to apply to a job, certain steps you got to take, the certain requirements you got to have, right? So if and it doesn't even sound right on the flip side either. If a wife is looked at a certain way, or a husband's looked at a certain way, like I can't say, oh, I want a girl that while I'm at the club and I'm in gray sweats and I'm fucking grabbing my dick and showing it to everybody in the club, that she's going to be beneath me clapping, and I'm expecting her that I can be with her and another girl, or her and 2 other girls. That doesn't sound realistic for me. It doesn't sound realistic for her. So it's like, That's not husband shit in my mind. That's not wife shit in my mind. When you decide to reach that pinnacle, you like this. People reach a point where like, yo, we can agree to disagree, and we have a good thing. Let's be life partners. They might be swingers, whatever the case may be, but it's like those people have an understanding of who they are and they're comfortable within their relationship. So for you to find somebody like that, that is a goal. You shouldn't find somebody that's ready to settle down with one person, that's ready to be a husband to one person and to be living a wholesome life, and you want them to settle. To do that, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying that she's necessarily saying that, but on the same note, is you have to find somebody that you can maybe build towards that with. Like, I can find somebody that they can accept my flaws. I can be with them. They're fun. They kind of like, promote my wild side, but they also kind of reel me back in a little bit. You have to have a comfortable balance with people. So if you find that within somebody, yes, that's a doable thing. But for you to say, I want this type of man, or I'm going to get this type of man, and you're not doing the thing like we talked about this before, I can't not be putting in my work, doing my jump shots, freaking doing my schoolwork and doing all this thing, and thinking I'm gonna get a scholarship to go to school and then eventually end up in NBA. Like, that doesn't work. People that sit on a block all day, they're not expecting to get scholarships or to go to a league, because that's not what their habitual habits are reflecting.
Yeah, and that was one of the, and I brought that up too. That was one of another big theme, and that's where I had a newfound respect for her, and that I didn't demonize her. I actually just listened to her ideas and beliefs, because I realized her goal, the way she said it, her goal is to be a wife. She wants to have a family. She wants to be a wife and build a happy family with her husband and kids. But I feared, and I feared the most that other women didn't share her beliefs, because the lifestyle she was describing, the lifestyle she wanted to live, I can say for most men, and it's a marketplace, so you better off going. For most men, what she was saying isn't going to work, because most men do not want what she was describing. Most men will not take a wife the way she was describing. Most men who would deal with her and the way she was describing her life, which made me really sad, was exactly what Academics was trying to tell her.
Side chick shit.
She was describing a life as a side chick, where men not publicly saying, this is my girl. The one, and Academics said it perfectly. The one guy who married a young kid, everybody was looking at him like, what's wrong with him? Like, this kid's a goofy. And then it sucks that after it all, this is what happened. And what really sucked was Academic was telling her, like, hey, you got to kind of, probably to be a wife, tone it down, this whole thing. And she was like, well, when I was married to him, I did tone it down. And that didn't work out. And he was like, you're right. I did notice that when you were married him, you toned it down. But he said, he made a good point. He goes, but after you guys broke up, you kind of went right back to being the person you quote unquote toned down from. And what that showed was you didn't actually change. Right. It was kind of like it made it seem like, even if it wasn't, it made it seem like a facade, because we all can put on a front, right? But if you truly changed as a person, that means after this was over, you would continue acting that as that new person persona you were putting on. You wouldn't have just immediately jumped back to this person you're being now. Right. And to Santi's point, and Jace was saying it earlier too, is if you want a result, like I know I have a goal in life to be wealthy, to be a husband, to be a father. I know those are my goals in life. I have to do certain things on a daily basis. And if I don't do them, then I won't get it. Like, if I want to be a husband, well, what wife is going to take a disloyal man, a man who's not stable, a man who... I know what it takes. So I have to even challenge, even if I have temptations in my heart, I have to challenge those things. I can't just go act on them. Because then I'm not a husband. I'm a whatever. I'm a boyfriend. I'm just a guy that women might be interested, but I'm not a husband. Who's going to marry a guy who currently treats on them constantly? That's not... So you have to fight against those things. You can't be that. And I can't say, oh, I'm not married yet, so I can still act that way. No, that just has to be who I am as a person. And I think that a lot of people struggle because they get so jaded about life because they want these results in their life that they're not getting. And the reason they're not getting them isn't because life's not fair. It's because they're doing the wrong things on a daily basis that would lead to those results. Exactly. So what they really need to do is really take a audit review of what they're doing on a daily basis and say, what do I need to change? Because you can't say, I want to be, like, for most men don't want their wife dancing on stage and twerking in front of the entire club while everybody's recording them. Then they post it on Instagram, and then under their Instagram post is a whole bunch of men putting hard eyes, thirsting, and then got sliding your DMs. Husbands don't want that from their wife. And regardless of how you feel, take me as I am, you have to understand, okay, maybe there's one guy out there out of the 300 million, the 150 million men in America. Maybe there's one out there. But then guess what? Now you start to think about what you want. Now you want a unicorn. You want a guy who's extremely wealthy, guy who's extremely successful, to also want these things too. So now you're going to a very small demographic of people who are wealthy and successful as you are, or more successful and wealthy as you are, to also feel this way. Now this guy might not even exist. The guy you want might not exist. Because guess what? If you want a Drake, or you want someone like J. Cole, you want that super successful musician to be, or the basketball player to be your husband, well, you're also competing with the other women who want him as their husband. And those women might be more wholesome. Those women might not have the history you have. Those women might not even have a kid now. That's your competition. And they're beating you. So guess what? Unfortunately, and what happens to a lot of people is you're going to end up alone. And guess what? To be alone, that means you have to, at the end of the day, save up $4 million for your retirement to take care of you for the rest of your life. You have to have insurance. You have to have assistance. You have to be able to afford this lifestyle of being an independent person, and it's expensive. The world is not set up for people to be independent. Most people aren't going to have $40 million to pay their life from 65 when they stop working until 85 when they die. You're not going to have $4 million in your bank account. So you really need to start thinking about this whole independent, take me as I am lifestyle. If it gets you to be alone, well, maybe that's not going to help you. You got to change.
I think with her, she just kind of put herself in a hole. Like with like her book and this, like, you know, how she carries herself. Well, not how she carries herself, but the things she says, or even how she carries herself, you know, in the previous situation that she was in, and how she handled that situation. I think she just dug herself in a hole. But like the things that she says, I think are very true. Like you want somebody to take you as you are. You know what I'm saying? We were kind of talking about this a little bit before we got on the pod, and I kind of said, like, what if me and, like, Santi started dating? Like, me and Sant are really close. Guys, don't take this and run with it, but me and Sant are really close or whatever. Sant knows right now, like, if we all go out to a club and I want to go shake my ass on a chair, I'm going to go shake my ass on a chair. And, you know, y'all are my guys. Like, you guys are going to gas me up, like, like, you know, we're chilling. So I think, like, we have that friendship. So if we were to start dating and I was to do that, I feel like it would be wrong for you to say something because you knew how I was before. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're not coming out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're my friend, so you have to understand, you know. That's what I kind of feel like she meant in that sense. Like, take me as I am. Like, you know, I like to be loud sometimes, and sometimes I like my space, and sometimes I want to go shake my ass. And obviously there's like limitations and shit like that. Like, I'm not gonna go on social media and be like like half naked, like, you know, DM me da 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 da. But like, if we are out and I'm shaking my ass, and you're recording me, or people are recording me, like, duh, we're out, and that's what we did before we started dating. You know what I mean? We were friends, and we established that, and you understood who I was. Yeah. And I feel like that was more of her point, but she dug herself in a hole to a point where, like, she don't get that respect now from, like, nigga. Like, she's not gonna get respect from guys.
I think you said a good word in it. He's like the limitations of it, because now say you're dating someone and you're shaking your ass on them, like you're shaking it for them. You're not, I'm on this side, you're on a table over there, shaking your ass for the entire club. Like, that's, to me, like, even if you used to do that, I feel like you're even as a man, like, say before we were dating, I was going out every weekend. Like, I used to go out. I used to go when I was in college. I would go out every single week. Now, as a boyfriend who's lives with his girlfriend, you think it would be okay if I kept going out every week while she stayed home? And I'm like, well, I used to go out before and party. Now you gotta say, like, so, you know what I'm saying? There's if when you take on a certain role, like my role as a husband, my role as a father, it's not, well, I was partying before I had this kid. Now that I have, so what? It's like, no. When you take on these roles in life, things you have to change. So to be single, cool, do what you want. But now you're talking about, I'm 29. you know, I'm looking for a husband. I have a son now. I'm looking for a family to raise. Well, ma'am,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That type of lifestyle you're describing that you want the result of don't come with those actions.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't correlate.
So
Literally.
you have to change.
And the thing is too, and that's why it's like a double-edged sword, is because you have to understand the type of person, one, that you're dealing with, and two, their capability to adjust. Yes. Because people will see things like there's things that might be a red flag. I could be like, yo, I like hanging out with this girl, but when I'm around her, she might be on her phone too much. That's something you could talk to somebody about. Like, yo, I kind of like, maybe you shouldn't be on your phone as well. I kind of like, if I want to spend time with you, I want to enjoy that time. That's something that can be talked about. That's something that can be adjusted. But if you're like, yo, I like this girl, she's mad cool, but she's like, I don't know, something. You just have to. You have to realize
She'd be
like what's
outside every weekend.
Yeah, like
that,
what is something that's a red flag, but it's like something that can maybe be turnable. So I guess it would be like a yellow flag. What's a yellow flag and what's a red flag? Something that can go either way, and something that like, no, this is that person in a certain way. It's like, yo, I'm friends with this person. I know they're always lying, right? So if I decide to trust you with something and you lie about it, I can't get upset because I know that's you. I can only expect people to be themselves. You feel me? So, excuse me. That's my thing with people, is like people will see things within people and they like to fantasize like images in their head. Like they'll love the idea about it. Like, oh, I can get them to do this. I can get, like, I remember being in school. This kid met this girl, took her. I won't say took her.
I was about to say took her.
I won't say took her. But she was dating someone when he met her. He met her through infidelity. And she started dating him.
What's she doing?
How you get them is how you lose them.
Along the line, she ended up cheating on him. And he was so shocked. And I'm like, bro, what?
About what?
What are you shocked about? Like, what? Like, literally, what are you shocked about? You met her that way, so you know it's doable.
You know what she about.
You know. So it's like I can't. It's like, yo, if I met you that way, I can't expect you to be like, all right, this is completely out of the system now. Now, if it's a situation where it's like she was dealing with the person, it's the only person she's been with for years. She was towards the end of her relationship. Dude's like beating on her. Like this fucking, there's mad extremes, right? That you could be like, all right, this is why, this what drove her to this. This is not her normal behavior. But if you met her like that, or if you heard stories about her and this and that, but a person will really meet a girl like that, or a girl will meet a guy like that and expect them to change. So it's like, yes, the person is the person is wrong for being, for doing wrong by you. But also, they're not wrong because they're being exactly who they've always been to you. But you're the one that expected different. So in that sense, I would say shame on you because you're supposed to understand that. It's like, all right, I know this person is not a reliable person, so I'm not going to rely on them. If I rely on them and it blows up in my face, I shouldn't blame the person. I should blame myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely agree. I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, one time I think Chris mentioned it, that women go on like social media and kind of like that's like their platform to like show their flowers and to attract men and things like that. So what you put out there is what you're gonna attract.
Yeah.
Most stuff, and that's what I learned being around so many guys. Like, yeah, they be like, yo,
dude, will post
like, yo,
this much money.
I'm trying to.
Girls only want me for my money.
Like,
bro, what?
You white, like, yeah, exactly. Or girls would post like they ass and be like, I'm never gonna find a husband.
There's no one respectful in my DM. Excuse me, I know your ass cheeks are out right now, but have you ever read the like, you know, it doesn't work like that.
And that's and that was exactly right on the. I think Elijah just summarized the whole thing perfect because that's what I'm saying. It's like,
exactly. It's just like you have to be the energy you want.
Yeah.
Be the energy you
Energy want. Is a boomerang. It's reciprocal. The things you put out are going to make it back to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Regardless. So, yeah, make sure you checking your energies out there,
Maybe
man.
I ain't shit. Maybe that's why I keep getting ain't shit ass niggas.
Maybe you just need to get. Whoa. I mean, I don't know how to take this. I was gonna say.
This might be.
Did we just have a revelation?
Huh?
Did they just have a revelation?
A revelation.
But you're not. That's not true.
Revelations. Write that down. Show idea. Revelations.
But Alicia, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I think you are a very high value woman, and in growing into it, I would say from how I've known you, just do a better job picking.
Yeah.
I think we need to take you through a mini class of how to pick. We should do that. Write that down too, Jace. We should have an episode on how to pick good men and women.
Yeah.
You gotta
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people that are chameleons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, I don't think you do a good job at figuring out if they're chameleon or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta see past the exterior. Are they trying to blend in with me right now, or is this really them?
Yep. Nope.
But yeah, I think we good to wrap.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of the Demigod Chronicles. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Whether you made it to this point, whether you stopped listening after 15 seconds, we appreciate you for even giving us a chance.
And stop doing that if you're doing it.
What is that?
Stop doing that if you're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you will never hear this. Maybe we should put this in the beginning.
If you're listening to this, please continue
if you're
listening.
to this, continue to watch. But yeah, like I said, another recording day. Very good episode, in my opinion. We're catching the swing of things with this bi-weekly thing. We got a vlog coming out this week. We got this episode dropping this week, so you guys got some bonus content. We got clips coming to the page. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Under the umbrella of Master Studios, there's another podcast that I want to big up, Putting Up Points podcast. That is my boys Frank, Jason, and Meek. They're on there talking about sports, fantasy, sports betting, all that good stuff. So all you guys that are true fanatics,
tap in.
Make sure you go over there, tap in with them, and we're producing it. You got Lou behind us. It's all a family affair.
We got Lou back, y'all.
Lou is.
We got Lou back, y'all.
Lou here.
Cause Lou is trying to act funny, but he's back.
Nah, he liked that ex.
Yeah.
He liked the ex-girlfriend. He might not be here next week.
Yeah.
This might have been the breakup sex. Who knows?
You guys are out of control, bro.
But yeah, follow everybody on their respective social medias at cb.lopez, at Alasia Ashley when she's available, like a sneaker drop. And right now she is available.
I might not
follow
tomorrow.
Jay at Jay Squay.
After the revelation.
Yes.
Jay Squay. Follow Lou at Young Lou 24, and follow myself at __ demigod _ and at Mastered Studios MSTRD _ studios spelled with a V, and follow us at the Demigod Chronicles _ on Instagram and at the DGC on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube at Mastered Studios, spelled the same way. And we appreciate you guys for tapping in. You guys are helping us grow. We hope we're helping you grow as you're helping us grow. We got some new exciting announcements coming up. We're working some behind the scenes thing that we're really excited for you guys to be a part of pretty soon to hear for.
Yes, sir.
And guys, interact with us. If you guys want to hear about something, if you guys seen something, if you guys want to promote your stuff, just hit one of us up on our pages. I'm pretty active when I'm available. Santi controls the Instagram. I control the Twitter. So come just keep in contact with us. You got Chris over here. He's a people man. So he just finds us people he's really the people man.
This is the king of LinkedIn.
This man, he's really
LinkedIn. You need a brand deal with this man right here.
Yes.
No, seriously.
You need it. If there's anybody utilizing your platform correctly,
I got more coming too.
It's him.
I didn't tell you. I got a lot more coming. I've been connected and talking to people. That's what I do.
Reach out to any of us. We got Jace over here, tech guy. So, keep in contact with us. Talk to us. If you guys ever want to.
If you need some help producing a podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anybody that needs help producing a podcast, we have the equipment. We have somewhat knowledge how to run a decent podcast. You feel me?
Somewhat, DK.
You know,
A decent.
You crazy as hell.
We the
DK.
baddest.
Guys, this is me.
I don't do the humble stuff.
No.
Ain't nobody gonna.
Only jiu-jitsu. That's the only place.
Only jiu-jitsu, right? Humble the fuck out.
Other than that, I'm confident in myself.
All right, so yeah, we have the equipment to help you guys produce a podcast, and you know, you come to us with your vision, and eventually, you know, we gonna help you get that on the canvas. So, yeah, go watch this video, like, comment, subscribe, enjoy, send it to people, tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your mama's mama.
Hasta luego.
And that's your Spanish for the week.
No quiero hoy, pero.
All right, yeah. We hit you. Oh, yo, Halloween weekend vlog coming out. It's about to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all watch that. It'll be out by the time this is out. So
please don't mind
y'all watch
me.
that.
Will it be out by the time it's out?
Yeah.
Who knows what's on there?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
When's this come out?
The audio comes out tomorrow. So if
Okay.
you're listening,
For the vlog.
video will be out.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vlog will be out tomorrow.
The vlog come out tomorrow and the audio come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all get a special treat this week. Happy Halloween. If y'all didn't get no candy last week, you're here. But yeah, this has been another episode of DGC. Tuning out.
Wow.
What about the?
Whatever click, let's be a trip.